Oh man, what a game we have for you on CBS on Sunday afternoon. The Bills at the Bucks. I mean, I'm assuming this is Nance Romo and Tracy Wolfson. Bucks minus 3.5, over under 53.5. This is a tough spot for Buffalo, Pete. They are coming off the Monday night game. So short week. You're going down to Tampa to play a guy in Tom Brady, who I believe is 32-3 all time against the Bills. Different team, obviously, but he's owned the Bills in his career. He has a 13. His longest win streak against any one opponent is 13 games against the Bills. His fifth longest win streak against any opponent is 9 games, and it is currently going on against the Bills. So he gets a chance to extend it to 10 here. I mean, it's an unbelievable tough spot for the Bills. I'm surprised the line is a little bit higher. What do you like in this game?
I like the over. I think you're going to see a lot of points. I think Tampa Bay's defense is bad, and they're playing bad. I mean, they have the talent to be playing much better, and I know they're getting guys back week by week in the secondary, but they should be better than what they are. And so I think Josh Allen, after that, horrible wind game, I can't stand the wind. I hate the wind. Ruins football. I don't mind the snow. I don't mind the cold, the bitter cold, the snow. But the wind just takes the game and makes it, 1920s again. It's awful. And he even ripped a few through the wind, which is incredible. I don't know how he did it. But I think that he's going to get back to throwing the ball over the place in this game against those people in the secondary who are struggling back there. And on the other side, I think the Bucs will still score. The Buffalo defense has some concerns, but I think they're built more so to play the pass than they are to run. And we saw that the other night. They got gashed. So I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. For that reason, I'm going to take the over.
They're built more to play the pass, but they lost their best cornerback, and it didn't really come back to bite them. And when Mac Jones is throwing 3 passes, but this is where you have to face Brady without Tre'Davious White. I don't know that pass defense is going to have success. The defense for the Bucs did look suspect against Atlanta. They're not that good, but they still are the Super Bowl favorites. And Buffalo might not even make the playoffs. They're sitting at the 7th seed now. If they lose this game, who knows? They have I believe the Panthers after that, and then the Patriots again. So, I mean, you get to the last few games, and then might be looking at an uphill battle. I think the Buffalo offense, when it's playing at its best and it's having a good day, can go blow for blow with Tampa Bay, especially with that defense not playing great. But they are inconsistent. They could also fall apart and look terrible. And I just don't know which Buffalo we're going to get week in and week out. If we're getting the good Buffalo offense, then this spread could go either way. It's probably close to 50-50. Like it a lot better when at the Tampa side when it was -3, obviously. Now it's up a little bit high. But even if it's 3 on a neutral, I'm leaning Tampa. In Tampa, I love it. So even at 3.5, I made Tampa best bet.
I got the Bills as a best bet. Fun times. I'm head-to-head with RJ in 2 of the biggest games of the week. What could possibly go wrong? Now, look, the 3.5, that's pretty key here because I think this could end up being a close game. It's if you're betting on at Caesars, the Bills are plus 3.5 minus 115, which means that this line is more likely than not to drift down to 3 as opposed to going in the opposite direction. I do agree with you, Pete, that I think we'll see plenty of passing here and plenty of scoring. And so one of the arguments for the Bills is that their pass defense is the best in football, but that doesn't that was the rating before the win game. I guess the win game would technically help them and not hurt them, but they also haven't played a game without Tre'Davious White, which has to be concerning if you're Buffalo. Now, so I mean, I think Tom Brady's going to score and be able to pass the ball pretty easily. They've played great at home, but I don't think, to your point, that the Bucs can slow down the Buffalo offense. I mean, this is a Bills offense that should come in this game. Like the Bills are too good a team to come off of that loss to New England and just hang their head and give up on the season and call it off. I mean, this is a really good Bills team. I'm not buying all the internal strife that's being bandied about after Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde didn't want to answer a dumbass question from Jerry Sullivan, who asked if they were embarrassed. I think this is a good Bills team with a good coaching staff, a ton of talent across the board on the roster, and they're going to go down there on Monday night. Josh Allen plays well in primetime. They've been embarrassed. They know the Bucs will probably try and run the football. I think they'll have a better game against the run, and then I think we'll see Josh Allen rip some nice throws in some very clean Tampa weather. I do think we'll see plenty of scoring. I think Buffalo keeps it within a field goal here. So give me the Bills. What do you think about Jerry Sullivan, by the way, Pete? You know him? I don't know.
I don't know him. I know of him. We've been around this league a long time, and there's always one or two, three, four, five beat guys that make it about themselves instead of getting the answer to the question that they really want. And there's a right way and a wrong way. Look, I've had plenty of run-ins with players in my time because of the questions I asked, and plenty of run-ins with coaches because of the questions I asked. But you don't do it in a way where you embarrass them or try to and make them look bad. I thought that was – I didn't like it, but I've seen it over and over where they make it more about themselves than trying to get the actual answer to the question.
Back in my day, people answered those questions. Like, what are you talking? What do you mean back in your day? Do you play?
Back in his day, they would have thrown a helmet at him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Brady Quinn and I were saying too on the pod. Is like on earlier this week on the BQ FBS or Brady Quinn football show. It's like we were like, what if Pete? We're like, can't you see Pete? Like, not that you would ask that kind of question in the public setting, but you would ask questions to them heads up. Like you weren't afraid to ask honest questions. And we're like, yeah, like I was like, Pete has like tons of stories of like people like thinking about beating him, like players who were like contemplating beating him up because of what he wrote.
Blowing my car up. I had one of those once back in the day.
Blow your car up. I remember that.
On the practice field. He yelled it.
Can you imagine if somebody said that now? Like you?
Oh,
like,
no. Never
like, I'll blow your car up, Prisco.
No way.
Like,
no way.
Were you scared when you got in your car?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not going to. I mean,
I had a player pull me over, like when I was driving down a road in Jacksonville, and he came up next to me and he rolled down his window and saw me and looked at me and put his fist up. And I go, get out of here, and I sped away from him. Look, that went on way more back in the day, and I'm going to say it like an old guy because before social media, they could get away with stuff.